Director, the head honcho, the big cheese over there at the Faribault Foundation. Good to see you, Dee. Thanks for stopping by.
Morning, Gordy.
I really do appreciate it. And Todd, good to see you again.
Thanks, Gordy. I'm happy to be on the board of the Faribault Foundation and glad to be here in studio with you today.
This guy is on a lot of boards.
He's a good volunteer.
Oh, he certainly is.
Yes, he is.
How many boards are you on, Todd? Seriously.
I don't want to even think about it, Gordy.
You don't?
I just want to, no, numbers aren't important here. It's just what I like to be involved in, so it works out well.
Well, you're on the Senior Center Fundraising Committee, and this. You on some other boards?
I help out here and there on a few other things, yeah. So,
okay.
But let's talk about the foundation today.
Sure. How does this work, Dee? Does Todd come to you and say, I'd like to be on your board, or do you approach him?
Well, Todd's one of the charter members of the board, so he's been on the board since the foundation started in '99, right?
Correct.
Okay. And so the board's been established since that time. We're always looking for new board members. We're kind of anxious to find some younger generation than ourselves to get active and get involved. But Todd is one of the 9 board members we have on the Faribault Foundation.
Okay. But you're an original member then.
Right, so back in the late 90s, we got together and we're talking about a leadership program in Faribault, which became Faribault's Future Leadership Program. And the very first class of the Faribault leadership decided that the community should have a foundation. And so they established the Faribault Foundation. And as a part of all that, I became part of the board of the Faribault Foundation in its inaugural year in 1999, and have been a part of that since day one.
You know what I find amazing? I looked on your website. Very nice website, by the way.
Thank you.
But I looked on it's easy to navigate. Not all websites are.
Right.
But I looked on your website, and I believe the number is in my head right, 450 community foundations across this country.
Yeah, I think it varies a little bit. But the numbers aren't great when you consider how many states and how many communities they are, and they usually average about 200,000 in a community. So we're unusual to be a town our size with a foundation.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
Does Owatonna have a foundation?
They do.
Very successful foundation.
Yeah, since 1958.
Right.
They've been very active, and theirs started with a group of business people that were really philanthropic that all kind of put money in to get the foundation started, and that's usually how it starts, is usually by some type of a legacy gift. Ours was founded by the Futures, and so we never started the traditional way. We started just because, you know, each community would benefit by a foundation because of what it does. You know, the mission is really to enhance the quality of life in the community.
Right. It's I do recall when you got started, the Faribault Foundation in the late 90s, as you mentioned, without an initial big gift, right? So
correct, yeah.
You guys had to hit the pavement and try and get some funds in there, right?
Sure, and we've had some, you know, small fundraisers over the years and raised a little bit of money, and we're really looking for you know, more awareness within our community as people plan some of their gifting and the transition of wealth from generation to generation, that they remember the foundation, because we're a group that will be able to help out the entire community of Faribault in a lot of different ways, and not specific necessarily to a cause. And we really believe that people will gift to specific causes, whether it's their church or to a stadium or to a group that they've been a part of, and that's fine. But if you want to give for the overall benefit of the Faribault community and things that we're doing, that's the awareness that we want people to have, and to be able to write a check to the Faribault Foundation or put that in their will, and we'll continue the legacy of Faribault through their gifts.
So you're at Reliance Bank, obviously.
Yes.
The president there.
Yes.
So is this information available at all the banks? So when I'm talking to my banker about, you know, my investments and that sort of thing, we can talk about this?
Well, there is a brochure that the Chamber puts out every year that lists all the charitable organizations or the nonprofit organizations in town. And so most people have access to that. We certainly could do a better job about distributing that information to financial planners and attorneys in town.
All right, we're going to talk more about the Faribault Foundation. I'm getting educated right along with you folks this morning. I'm really enjoying this. When AM Minnesota
Cash cattle business.
No.
The Gordy Foundation.
107.80 in February's 102 lower, 109.62. January feeders are down.
benefiting future generations of radio announcers.
Yeah.
147 lower at 121.66.
Well,
And hogs are
your
mixed on spread trade
legacy could
profit
certainly be
taking.
sport related
December's
at the
up
high school if you were going to leave
Yeah,
some
that's
scholarship
what I'm
money.
thinking.
February's down 7,
Yeah.
60,
Well,
75.
scholarship to someone going into
Jones
communication.
Industrial Average has hit
Absolutely.
another new intraday high this morning. Brown feeder.
That is your opening market report. A service of your KDHL Agri Boosters. That includes Hanson Seed, your Gold Country seed dealer over by Nearstrand. Talk with Randy or Jeremy about Gold Country seed harvest results and early season discounts. And Ag Power Enterprises, your John Deere dealer in Owatonna, Hollandale, Belle Plaine, also Osage, and Northwood, Iowa. Today I'm getting educated along with you about all the great things that the Faribault Foundation does here in our community and how you and I can become involved in it. Todd Markman is the treasurer. That means he handles the money. Right, Dee?
That's right.
Dee Bjork is the executive director. Todd kind of likes handling the money, I think.
He's good at it.
Yeah, it's kind of his job
Yes.
to handle a lot of people's money.
It's pretty convenient too. So I'm there every day, so it works pretty well.
Yeah, I would think it would work pretty well. So Dee, before we get diving into some of the things that the foundation does, I was telling you before we hit the airwaves that I'm in the process of trying to figure out, when I'm gone, when the good Lord calls me home, where I would like to have some of these funds that I've been blessed with to go to some future generations, because I was not blessed with children. So being a single guy and no family, obviously I'd like to see that go help future generations in positive ways. Do I need to sit down with you and we'll sit down and figure out where we're going to do this, or how does this all work?
Well, the foundation is really open to whatever your wishes are, and we help facilitate those things. So if you wanted to set up a scholarship, we could help you with that. If you want to just designate that the money goes for beautification in the downtown area, then that can be, we can make those wishes come true. So it really is just based on what your purpose is and what your desires are to see what happens with your money. If you want to leave us all your money, Cordy, then we can name the park after you. Just depends.
And my money, all my money would not give me a name on the park.
Park bench.
Might get it on a fountain in
Yeah.
the park, or something like that, right, Todd?
Yeah, I think we talked about that closet down at the senior center a week or two ago. So something like that, Gordy.
He's trying to get me to donate to the senior center so they could name a closet after me.
They'd put your name on the door.
He knows my financial
Sure.
status.
Well, any amount of money that's contributed to the foundation is appreciated. It doesn't have to be a substantial gift. However, we always encourage people who have had great fortune to consider giving back to the community because of what the community has done for them. But any amount of money is appreciated, and it's used really wisely within the foundation.
So what I'm thinking here, Todd, and I'm not a tax person, so you consult with your tax professional, but we're coming toward the end of the year. And of course, charitable donations are some of the things that you can use for tax write-offs. There aren't many these days, but that's one.
Correct. Yep,
The
we're a
Faribault-
501c3.
Yeah, the Faribault Foundation is a way that I can donate to and get a tax write-off.
That's correct. And one of the points that I'd like to make is that we're not talking about necessarily large chunks of money, and we give back to our community in pretty simple ways. And Dee can talk about how some of that's done through Pride grants and whatnot, because it's about the community of Faribault and helping it be a better community. If we're blessed with large monies that then we can endow for other projects, wonderful. But we're talking about sometimes very simple gifts. Our 365 program right now, Give 365, $365 a year, $1 a day. And those dollars are spent very wisely in Pride grants around our community. Really fun way for us to enhance our lives here in Faribault.
Oh, cool.
Can I talk about some of those,
Yeah,
Gordy?
tell me more about that.
Some of the things that we've done just in the last couple of years since we started the Community Pride Grants that we're really proud of is one is called Connecting with Kids, and it's through the Faribault Police Department. And they have a program that the officers and children participate together in basketball, soccer, and the rope courses at Shattuck. And the grant provided money for athletic shoes for those students who didn't have proper footwear. So it was really simple, but quite a benefit to those kids.
Oh.
Another one is we gave a Pride Grant to the Community Cafe, and that was specifically to support 40 families with additional groceries to supplement their households. And you know, the Pride Grants aren't a large amount of money, but to think that we could support 40 families is really quite remarkable. Another Pride Grant went this year to the Supply Our Children, and so these numbers are really interesting. 1,000 children in the Faribault School District need school supplies and a backpack each new year. And there's a group of all volunteers that get together every summer and collect the materials and the backpacks because they feel that that student is sent off to school equipped with what they need to get a successful start. And without that, the child doesn't have as much opportunity as a kid that comes fully prepared.
1,000.
1,000, and
Right.
it's 25% of the school
I was
district.
just going to say,
that
that's
has
about
that-
a quarter of the
Yeah,
school.
that has that need. So that money that we were able to give to them this year, really, if it can impact 1,000 kids, you know, that's quite rewarding to us at the foundation.
Again, not a major monetary amount here you're talking.
Right.
So if I wanted to outfit just one kid,
Yes. But what happens in some of these organizations is they have ways to work together with someone else, like the Community Cafe works with the food bank in St. Paul, you know, to get surplus of inventory for the cafe, and so that the dollars stretch farther. You know, whether they're maybe even working locally with Fairway or Hy-Vee, those dollars stretch farther because of what they're doing. And so the Pride Grant goes beyond even what we're able to give them because of that.
you have some partner projects too, I noticed on your website.
We do. We're also a fiscal agent, so we serve a couple of different roles here through the foundation. And the fiscal agent is really there for people who don't have the 501c3 status. So the Blessings to Backpack, which Todd houses out of the bank, is for children who need supplemental food on the weekends. And that's quite a strong organization. So we handle their funds, but they are run independently. We're just there for the financial portion of
Sure.
it. The Mural Society, the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, which distributes to veterans families that have needs. They might need a new refrigerator or a car repair. That's what the Beyond the Yellow Ribbon does. The Thanksgiving Day meal, 1,000 people they fed this year.
Oh yeah.
And so we handle those funds. We don't necessarily have other involvement unless we volunteer, but we handle the funds for those situations. Johnston Hall Preservation, because we're working on saving the historical buildings in our community. The Tilt-A-Roll Project, which will have the second converted car downtown this spring. So that's very exciting. So you look for that. And then we were a part of the American Veterans Traveling Wall Tribute, and that was the over the Labor Day weekend, 25,000 people attended that at the fairgrounds. It was really amazing. And so that event was really to honor the soldiers who lost their lives, but give a welcome home to those who fought and were able to return home. And then the Virtues Project, which is a global movement to open the dialogue for people to use and be aware of their virtues every day. And that's a new one for us. I attended that class at Shattuck this summer, and you'll also see it in the newspaper every Tuesday, where they're writing a virtue of the week, and there's a guest author every week, and they just talk about how to use your virtues in your everyday life.
And it's being utilized in the school district too.
Absolutely.
We talked about it with Kim Anderson
Yes.
earlier this week.
Yeah, so it's all really positive, wonderful things that are going on in our community, and we can help support them just by being their fiscal agent. So that's just a part of what the Faribault Foundation does.
She's on your board too, right?
Kim Anderson is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Pat Gustafson,
And Richard Carlander,
Pat Rice.
Pat Rice, Catherine McBride, Donna Kroll, Richard Kettering, and of course Todd Markman.
Who's been there since the beginning?
That's right.
A couple of others have been there since the beginning
Oh,
too.
they have. Okay.
Yeah, Pat Gustafson is a charter member also.
Okay.
And
He's a great
Richard
guy.
And Richard.
Carlander.
Yeah.
So
Pat used to work with the city of Faribault,
Yes, she did. She's very knowledgeable.
and then went up to work in the cities, right?
Yeah, she works for a nonprofit that deals with housing. It's a national organization.
Oh, cool.
I think she's maybe stepping back a little bit and looking
Man.
towards retirement.
Thinking about retirement.
Hmm.
That's a long way for Todd and me.
And me.
Well, you're probably in our age bracket too.
Oh, much younger.
You are?
Yeah.
come on, Gordy. Look at her. It's beautiful.
Yeah, she does look much younger than
Yeah.
us.
Uh-huh. I'm afraid I'm probably the oldest one in the room, Gordy.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Okay.
know about that.
We're not
Let's
going
move
to
on.
check it.
Let's
Hey,
move
we won't go
on.
there. We don't want to ask you to bring out your ID or anything.
Good.
We're talking about the Faribault Foundation today. So again, folks, I would encourage you to check out the website, faribaultfoundation.org, faribaultfoundation.org, and learn more about this terrific foundation right here in our own community and all the things they can do. You literally can help with anything in town.
That's right.
That's why it was set up.
That's right. It really is to just enhance the quality of life in the greater Faribault area.
What great vision by that leadership class that you were a part of, Todd.
Yeah, it's just in its simplest way too. We don't have any preconceived areas that we're pushing. It's just to, we've been so fortunate in our community to live here, and we want it preserved to for future generations to have a lot of those great memories and opportunities that we've had.
You've heard all of the programs that Dee talked about, all of them. So awesome, and yet big bucks, hundreds of $1,000s aren't necessary to provide those projects.
Right. Yeah, and the more people that get involved, the healthier the foundation is, the more we can do to support the community and whatever the needs might be.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Todd. Dee said it for me.
And well, said it
Better
very
than
well.
I could. So again, folks, we want you to get involved in the Faribault Foundation. So your board terms, I would assume, are however long they want to serve, because he's been on since 1999.
We asked him just before our final meeting if he'd consider staying on, and he gave us the thumbs up.
Way
So
to go, Todd.
yeah. It's a great group of people. We really feel like we're here to support the community and make a difference and keep it vibrant, and so it's important to have positive board members and people that are really active in the
So you're
community.
not in need of any board members right
We
now.
could use some board members.
But people want to donate. How do they go about doing that?
Well, if they want to donate, they can send a check to the Faribault Foundation at 530 Wilson Avenue in Faribault. They can contact me at dbjork@msn.com. They could also call me at 507-334-9759. We do have something that's coming up that I just wanted to talk about for a minute. There is a Christmas marketplace at F-Town Brewing Company on Saturday, December 17th, which is a week from Saturday, and it starts at 1 o'clock. They're hosting an event which will include vendors, music, bonfire, a cookie contest, but they're doing it in conjunction with the Faribault Woolen Mills. And so there'll be tours at the brewery and also tours at the mill that day. And we're going to have, we're going to sell some soup, which is what we're calling Feed the Foundation, but we'll also have some handmade Christmas gifts for sale at that event also. And so that starts at 1 o'clock on the 17th.
Cool. Some places don't allow you to designate a certain, designate your gift. If you give to the organization gets to decide what they're going to do with your dollars.
Sure.
But with the Faribault Foundation, I can specify, right? I want this to go to the Basic Blessings program. Or
Yes. Or you'd like to see it become part of a community pride grant. And you'd like it to be focused on children or families or whatever. You certainly can be specific about how you want your money used.
So if I was to set up a scholarship up at Faribault High School, for example, Todd, I could do that through the Faribault Foundation, or should I just go directly to the high school?
Well, they have their own foundation for those gifts, and so we can help facilitate that for you, but we're not going to duplicate some of those foundations and other services that are out there, scholarship programs. So the Faribault Falcon Scholarship Program is really, if that's the direction you want to go, but we'll help facilitate that however it needs to happen.
Wow, it seemed to me that, you could do that as easily as the Faribault Foundation.
Sure. Yeah, and we really are a resource, Gordy. We're open to that, where we can help people make decisions about what they want to do and how they want to do it. And I also advocate that I'm available for anybody that needs a project. If they need some help with where they should volunteer their time, they can contact me, and I can help them with what their interests and passions are and get them in the right direction, because that's what it's about too, is getting people more involved in their community and volunteering where there's needs.
That's on your website too.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean there's opportunity all over town, and so that's part of what the mission is for the foundation, is to just help facilitate things like that.
Is it easy, Todd, to make a legacy gift? Is there a lot of paperwork involved? I'm not a big fan of paperwork.
Yeah, no, and especially not for the foundation itself. You can work with your tax accountant and your attorney, and you want to be able to develop your legacy and will and whatnot to whatever extent you'd like to. But if it's as easy as making that gift and getting a receipt from the Faribault Foundation for your taxes, and it doesn't have to be a big amount of money or a big drawn out process. So pretty easy.
And it's also easy to just make that commitment in your will, that you just are going to state that this X amount of dollars should go directly to the foundation, and so once that will is distributed, that money comes out of that person's estate and goes just directly to the foundation, and then the estate would receive whatever paperwork they need to file for their tax.
Has the foundation done well? I mean, financially.
We're working at it, Gordy.
Yeah.
Right, no, I understand that.
I don't know how we would say yes, we've been very successful, but it's all in the eyes of the beholder.
Right.
To a certain extent. We haven't had a lot of huge gifts by any means. That's okay. We're still out there doing neat things within our community for the betterment of the Faribault community, and who knows when that special gift of a lot of money might come our way. And so, and we know as people build their estates and put their wills together, that they're going to want to give to their churches and to their schools and universities and whatnot. We just want to remind people, if Faribault's got a special place in their heart, that they can designate a certain small amount or a percentage, whatever they want, to the Faribault Foundation, Inc., and those monies will be well spent in preserving all those great memories of Faribault.
That's the key.
That's the key. Well said.
That's the key. You need to trust that the board is going to,
absolutely
make the wise decisions with those dollars.
Right.
Faribault Foundation. Oh, what a great idea. Who else was in your class there, Todd?
When we started this?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Back at the time, the people that helped establish the leadership group, Harry Algeyer, the chief of police at the time,
sure,
James
yeah.
Wolf, David Balcom from the Faribault Daily News, Kim Anderson, a lot of great names from yesteryear. Some of them still around, some of them moved on with their careers elsewhere. And then we established that first class. I was not in that first class. We just helped establish that. And now I think the foundation, or the Faribault Futures class, is in its 18th year, something like that. I think it's its 18th year of.
And they pick a project, the class does.
Yes, they do. And their very first project was to establish this foundation.
Wow, very visionary, pretty awesome.
It really is a wonderful opportunity for the community, and it's a job I'm really enjoying being a part of, and I see that it's going to, can go on forever as long as we have the support of the community.
So you like this better than the Crafty Maven?
Well, not necessarily, but I do. It's a different venture for me, but I love what I'm doing. I'm a really big supporter of the community. I grew up here, and this is where my heart belongs, and so Faribault is very important to us, and we want to continue to make it a really viable community.
So do you rent out your creativity for
I do.
decorating windows
I
and
do.
stuff?
I do.
And then the proceeds go to the Faribault Foundation. No,
They
kidding.
do. It's kind of like having a lemonade stand. Every little bit helps. So, and that's one fundraiser we're doing at F Town on Saturday is just raising money directly for the foundation.
What are the hours of that again?
1 o'clock to 7.
And then if you would go over your contact information again, Dee, for
Sure.
those who may be listening and thinking, God, I love Faribault. I've lived in Faribault my whole life or however many years, and I'd like to have a gift go to help organizations right in Faribault. Why not donate to the Faribault Foundation?
And we love that we serve all people, Gordy.
Yes.
So you can contact me at Bjork, BJORK, at msn.com or at 507-334-9759, or a donation may be sent to the Faribault Foundation at 530 Wilson Avenue in Faribault, 55021.
So you're going to become more and more visible in the community, I have the feeling.
I think so. I think, we've made great strides this year, and we just feel really positive about the future.
Yeah, why not? Fantastic organization to be a part of.
And Dee's just done a wonderful job as our executive director, and hats off go to her. I mean, a lot of those little dollars just find their way to the foundation for things that she does and volunteers. This isn't a big executive position by any means. Most of her effort is voluntary and just helping us out. So
I mean, it's not a six-figure position like some
Not yet.
places?
Not yet, Gordy. But it's out there. I see it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
vision.
It's all
Yes.
contingent.
Yes. So again, if you'd like to donate to the Faribault Foundation, do a legacy donation. All you got to do is just tell your advisors,
Sure. Your attorney.
when you're making out your will, that a portion of your dollars or all your dollars could go to the Faribault Foundation and benefit such a thing as the Tilt-A-Whirl downtown,
Right.
or Basic Blessings, or some of the other things that you talked
Right.
about.
Whatever your passion is.
And maybe somebody has a vision of something brand new.
That's right.
Would you be open to that?
And
Todd?
we're open to that.
we are, and we were there at the groundbreaking of the Faribault Family Aquatic Center and helped them as a fiscal agent for that great facility in our community. So there's going to be new things happening here that hopefully we can be a part of.
Fantastic. Well, I know there's talk about the possibility of a field house or something that the school district and Shattuck and city are talking about, so maybe that could be something down the road too. I don't know. We're going to talk to the superintendent, I think, next week about that and other things. So we're looking forward to that AM Minnesota program. You have a Merry Christmas, Dee.
You too, Gordy. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to you, Todd.
Thanks, Corey. Merry Christmas to
I'll
you.
probably see you before Christmas, but hey, doesn't hurt to wish you a Merry Christmas anyway. And in this season of giving, again, keep in mind the legacy gift that you could provide for the Faribault Foundation. Again, that phone number is 507-334-9759. I'm sure you're getting gifts from all over the country, too, because there are people that grew up in Faribault that are living in California and
That's
Arizona
right
now.
Yes, and in fact, I just had a check recently that came from Pennsylvania. So
There you go.
Hurrah!
Yes, thanks to that Pennsylvanian. Maybe they're even listening here on AM. So you can listen worldwide, at kdhlradio.com, and still keep up with what's happening in your hometown of Faribault. That concludes today's edition of AM Minnesota on KDHL AM in Faribault, Minnesota.